and one of them is the LA Clippers. Before we dive completely into that, it's interesting, Stu, when you talk about the Clippers, there's never a middle ground with them. They're very polarizing, right? People feel one way or another about them.
Yeah, they're either rolling the way they were at the beginning of the season or sputtering the way that they are right now. But, as a team, I mean, Vince, one of the reasons we aren't talking a lot about them is their performance since the All-Star break. I mean, they've only won one game out of their last 5. Currently, defensively, since the All-Star break, they rank last in the league. And the problem that they've had all season is they don't do a great job of rebounding the basketball, and that's shown its ugly head again as well. So, they have some things to iron out. I refer to them as the last chance gang because this is their last go-around at the OK Corral. Because if they don't do it now, it's not going to happen.
No, that's a great point. We could see some departures there. Some guys could abandon ship. I don't know if it was like Michael Ray Richardson once said about the ship be sinking. But we might be taking on a little bit of water right now. Anyway, if you look at the trend, and Sam, what Stu is talking about also includes turnovers for them. Not listed here, but that was a problem against Milwaukee last night.
Well, I mean, Vince, you look at the Clippers, man. I just don't understand this basketball team. Normally, young teams struggle defensively because they don't understand concepts. They all want to hug their man. They're not comfortable. But you're talking about a veteran team. You're talking about all-star caliber players, and they can't guard anyone. And we know this, Stu. Defense now is about individual. It's about team defense. It's about positioning. It's about funneling your guy to a certain position on the floor where you can get help. And you would think a veteran team like the Clippers would be excellent at that, but they struggle defensively. They're turning the ball over. They're not rebounding. What is DeAndre Jordan doing? You're talking about a guy that's one of the top defensive centers in the league, a first-team all-defensive player, and then with Blake Griffin back, those two guys should dominate the glass with their size and athleticism. So this Clipper team has just been bewildering to people because they start the season like they're a legit championship caliber team, and now we're talking about will they drop to the 7th spot and will OKC catch them?
That's the question. And again, going back to last night's loss, really the last two, they lost to Houston, got blown out in that game. And then Milwaukee looked like they kind of outworked the Clippers in their victory. And after the game, we heard from Blake and CP3, the leaders of this team, assessing the damage.
Last game, it's not like one thing each game. It seems to be different things. The only way I know is just play harder.
Is that a bit baffling to you that every game is something different? Or something like sticking you in one dike and another hole comes up somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it would be worse if it was the same thing every game. It seems like that would be kind of worse, but yeah, I mean, it's a little disconcerting, but we'll figure it out.
You guys are obviously struggling right now. How do you guys get out of this, get this back by the game?
Win. They say winning cures all. I hope that's the solution for us, but right now we look bad.
What are you seeing that's so bad about it?
Most of all, it's our defense. We got to get that trust back and know that we're able to get stops. I think teams right now just sort of, they look at us and, just feel like they're going to get a bucket every time.
Well, that is not a happy group after that. And you talk about, yes, it is glamorous to play offense, but if you don't D up on a nightly basis, as you guys know, that can happen. But it's interesting, as Sam mentioned, Stu, this is a team, look, it's not like you don't have star players. You had CP3, Blake, DeAndre, Jay Crossover. I mean, how can this team find these funks that they run into during the course of the year? Or is that just a natural process with any team?
Well, I think Blake and Chris both alluded to it. It's not, there's something wrong that happens with this basketball team every single night, and usually it's something different, whether it's rebounding, defense, or, individually they don't perform. But it's really not about these individual players. They're all great players. It really is about the summation of the parts, which they, on a nightly basis, don't seem to all be on the same page. And until they do, they're still going to experience these problems that they're having, a different one every single night, and victory will elude them. When you look at their last 5 games, the only victory they've had is against a struggling Charlotte team. And every other team, they seemingly have gotten outworked. Defensively, they have been a horror show. I mean, their rating over the last 5 games has been 117. That's unheard of. So this team came back from the All-Star break not prepared to do the little things and make winning defensive plays and rebound the basketball that it takes to win games in this league.
Sam, by the time we get to the finish line, are you with the Clippers or against the Clippers?
Hey, the question is, are they with each other? I'm starting to ask myself, do these guys like each other? Because you're talking about trust. Really? A veteran team? We don't trust each other on defense? I mean, you got a veteran coach, a championship caliber coach in Doc Rivers. You got all these veteran players, and they're talking about trust. They're talking about playing hard. My question for the Clippers players is this. If Doc decides to break this team up, who wants you guys? You're supposed to be some of the creme top players. And we're talking about effort, defense, trust, and you're veteran players. You normally say those things about young players. You don't say those things about Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, J.J. Redick, Jamal Crawford. You don't say those things about those guys. And the more we talk about those things and the more general managers and other personnel people hear them talk about it, you got to ask yourself, if Doc breaks his team up, who's going to be willing to pony up that type of money to get those type of results? When you sign Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, you're expecting to go deep into the playoffs. You're expecting character, leadership, toughness, trust, a guy that's going to bring guys together. It seems like this team is so fractured. I don't know if they can win. If you don't like each other, and I don't know if that's the case, but they play like they're strangers. And so it's something going on because that's too much talent on that basketball team for them to be playing the way they've played the entire season.
And this is a dangerous back-to-back. Chicago they played very well against some of the elite teams in the league. The last time out against the Golden State Warriors, beating them back on Thursdays.